So what went right and wrong for the two major parties? Republican strongholds turned out better than expected results, while Democratic ones fell short. State House correspondent Zachary Fink probes deeper with a post-election analysis.
In the end, it was simple arithmetic. Republicans got their people to the polls and Democrats didn't. Chris Christie won the shore communities in Monmouth and Ocean counties with huge pluralities.
There is really an agitated Republican base out there. The people that I think we saw in the summer at those healthcare forums, people have come out. They needed a voice. Republicans have been shut out for 12 years in New Jersey statewide elections. This was a chance to come out and to speak.
But for all the Republican turnout, there was a real dearth of motivation on the part of Democrats in key northern and southern counties.
You can knock on a lot of doors. The bottom line to it is folks still have to leave the house. And we had issues with that. We had a quality, organized, well-done field campaign. But in the end of the day, hey, they beat us, and congratulations to them.
Independents, the exit polling was showing us that independents went decidedly for Chris, 25 to 30 points in some cases. We were seeing that in our tracking polls, that the independents were favoring Chris by anywhere from 15 to 25 points. So we really felt good about going into the race, going into Tuesday with that kind of momentum with independents. Our base was home.
For the Democrats, analysts point to underperformance in 3 specific counties, which may have been the difference: Middlesex, Union, and Bergen.
These areas, 4 years ago, Corzine wins with almost 100,000 vote plurality. This time he lost Middlesex. He only won Bergen by about a couple thousand, and Union County definitely underperformed.
In his concession speech last night, Governor Corzine said he accepted that voters had spoken. Some say this election was more about him than anything else that prompted people to vote or stay home.
This really was a rebuke of John Corzine, not necessarily of the Democrats, not necessarily that the entire state is changing Republican, but it definitely was a rebuke of the Corzine administration.
Our internals were consistent with what we saw last night, which was a trend towards Chris Daggett's numbers falling, his voters coming over to Chris Christie, and we just thought that upward trend would continue for Chris. And the other thing we saw was that, quite frankly, Governor Corzine's numbers were stuck, and I don't think the governor could move his numbers very high.
But governing for Christie could mean gridlock as he tries to push an agenda through a solidly Democratic legislature. The seeds of that opposition seem to already be in the ground.
This was very much, for lack of a better way to put it, a hard time election. Economics and the economy and the rest. Now he's got to put forward some specifics, and I, for one, as a member of the legislature, am going to be very anxious to hear what he has to say and what he has to propose to the people of New Jersey. And I assure you, while they'll get listened to, they better be in the interest of the people of New Jersey.
As is often the case in campaigns, it's not usually one particular thing, but a series of factors, and that is certainly the case here. However, one thing is pretty consistent. If you talk to people in both the Christie and the Corzine camps, few people, if any, believe that Christie's margin of victory would be as large as it was. Zachary Fink, NJN News, New Brunswick.